Hello and welcome to day 4 of Women of the Light Unite, a collective healing to activate the light in South Africa. Now, we've had an incredible 3 days so far, and I know today my guest, Maya Francis, is here with me, with us. And yes, she's going to be bringing in some high frequency energies to activate and accelerate our journey. Thank you, Maya, for being here with us today.
Oh, you're so welcome, Mona. It's my absolute pleasure. And as you know, I am not here on my own. So I have been nudged to do this. And there's quite a groundswell of energetic excitement here for you and
I
for everyone.
I can imagine. And I actually informed people earlier. I was doing a live earlier today with my husband, and I said to them, you better show up today because there's going to be some serious magic happening in the space today, especially knowing who's joining you, today and sharing the wisdom today. So, Maya, I just want to
Mm.
inform our viewers a bit about you that you are a direct verbal channel and a frequency alchemist. And like I said, what Maya does is she works with high frequency energies to activate and accelerate humanity's journey into higher states of consciousness. Now, Maya,
Mm.
some people may wonder what's a direct verbal channel? What does that actually mean?
Yeah, exactly. So as I'm hearing you saying that, I'm thinking, oh, they both sound like really, we would say in Australia, wanky descriptions, but very sort of over the top descriptions. It's just really hard though in this field. There's not great sort of appropriate descriptions for exactly what people do. So I think we're in the process of sort of making it up a bit as we go along. But from my perspective, the reason I call myself a direct verbal channel is because everyone can channel. You channel, all of your viewers channel, everyone channels to a greater or lesser degree. So when you just feel that intuitive hit, that guidance that you get about, oh, no, I don't want to do that. That is you channeling yourself. That's you channeling your internal guidance, your own broader self, your higher self. My guides like to call it your unified self because they don't like the hierarchical connotation with higher self, but that's you channeling. And then beyond that, people who exploring and have an ability to connect into multiple different realms. Some will channel in a way that is receiving the information that might come through to them in blocks, and then they repeat that. So it's they're receiving those vibrations, those frequencies, and then they are, in a sense, translating in their own human brain, and then repeating that to people, packaged or couched in a way that is that suits humans. You also have lots of different channelers who might be trance or out of body channelers, and they are channelers who remove their entire personality and allow other energies. Obviously, you don't do that unless you're really comfortable, confident about what energies you're allowing to come through, but there are out of body or trance channels. So the reason I call myself a direct verbal channel is because I'm not an out of body or trance channel. I'm also don't just receive a block and then translate it as a human. I in a sense, move part of my consciousness out of the way, but only part. I'm still very, very present, and I could come out of it at a drop of a hat. And and in some ways I can slightly influence it. I will often say to them, I think you're going on for too long internally in my head. But what comes through is is a vibration that then when it is translated within me, but it is translated almost immediately. So it's not like I translate it as a human and then repeat it as a human. It's a vibrational block that comes through, and it's translated at that level that allows the words that come through to be very closely, very accurate in connection with what the intention is. So I hope that's been a little bit clarifying. Sorry, I'll pause there. Does that make sense at your end,
Yes,
Mona?
absolutely it does. It absolutely does. Yeah, please do. Yeah, and you wanted to share more?
Yes, well, I just wanted to say two other things. So the energies that I tend to work with more presently at the moment, I do work with lots of different energies, but at the moment, the ones that are sort of more useful for us as a collective, as a human collective, in terms of passing on information and perspective and guidance, is a body of energies, so a collective cosmic consciousness, and they are referred to as seven. So they are the energies that are going to come through and provide some perspective, some input for this session today. But I also wanted to address the frequency alchemist bit of it. I think what I do, I've thought hard about this over the past sort of 18 months, and I think what I do is I alchemize, I help people alchemize frequencies. So when that can be in many different ways. The pure action of channeling actually alchemizes frequencies. It alchemizes denser frequencies into higher frequencies. Light language transmissions do alchemize denser frequencies of fear or anxiety or lack of self-worth into higher frequencies. And all I do is I hold that frequency within the field and allow you or anyone to connect into that. So you are actually really accessing your own higher, purer sense of flow of energy. And it's not something I am sort of particularly doing to you as such. So that was just a way of describing and explaining that.
Thank you, Maya. That was beautiful. Now, Maya, why did you say yes to supporting South Africa in this way? I mean, like, what's happening currently? Why, obviously you stepped forward because you knew that there was something important for you, and it was important for you to be part of this activation this week as well. What was it? What specifically? Because people may be wondering, did we just randomly choose this week and decided to every day spend an hour or so of our time together? Or, like, what's going on at the moment?
So the honest truth, Mona, is I didn't have a choice in this. So there are energies that are wanting to come through to connect with you and your audience to really help shift things at the moment. So I lean very heavily into my own guidance these days. I used to do things because I thought I should. I used to do things because I thought it would be a nice thing to do. These days, I always tune on things, and if I get it, and in this instance, it was actually strong. It was quite a strong guidance to be involved. And I think, if you don't mind, Mona, and I know we said we weren't scripting this, so you're expecting anything that might go off piece, but it is probably better for me now to, as a human, to move out of the way and allow the energies to come through and communicate with you, because and I might circle back at the end, but they're in a better position to respond to you. And this is the reason I'm here. That's the answer to your question. This is the reason I'm here. So I'm going to get out of the way and let them come through, and let's see what they have to share. So it just takes me a moment or two, and just for just for your viewers who might or might not have seen a lot of channels before, we all channel quite differently, but when I first receive the energies as they're coming in, it does make my body move just a little bit. So there'll be a little bit potentially of some shaking. It doesn't affect me, and it's certainly not. It's not something I like to do. Not something I like that comes through. So certainly not a conscious thing, and it's not a. I'm sure some people might look at it sometimes and think, "Oh, why is she doing that?" Well, she's not doing it. It's just me allowing those energies to come through my body. So that's just. It'll only take a moment or two. So. And I will just invite everyone who's with us on this or viewing this at any point in time just to come with, because part of allowing these energies to come through is really us creating our group field and setting our group intentions. And the usefulness for you of this experience will very much depend on how open you are and what you're prepared to contribute yourself energetically. So it's entirely up to you, and you can turn this off at any point. But if you're here and you're open, I would just invite you to drop into your heart center. And I know that's such a catchphrase, but it really means, for anyone who's not familiar with that expression, just take your awareness into that area around your heart. You don't need to know or understand chakras. I'm sure most of you do, but there's an area around your heart, your physical heart, which is your heart energy center. So take your awareness to that area. And so you'll often hear this expression, drop into your heart center, and that is taking your awareness to that area. And just allowing your breath now to begin to circulate around that area. So big, deep inhalation. And as you exhale, just imagine yourself connecting with every other beautiful human being on this call or watching this replay. Feeling a great sense of awareness that you are part of something bigger. Feeling as if your own essence, your own energy is now emitted when you exhale, is coming through and connecting to everyone. So you are sharing a bit of the essence of you with everyone else on this call or connecting into the replay, and they are sharing a little bit of the essence of them with you. And so together, collectively, we are creating this group field. And visualize now ourselves in all of this, swathed in energy within a beautiful bubble, which is our own group field now, which is sitting within the quantum field. And so it's from within this group field that we are inviting in now any energies of a higher frequency that can come through at this time and assist us in terms of understanding, greater perspective, guidance for the way that we live our normal everyday lives that will make things easier for us. And whilst the focus and intention for this series of interviews is on South Africa, we take ourselves into a higher perspective and we engage as energy, we engage as human beings, we engage as members of the human collective. And it is as members of the human collective that we are inviting through now these beings of a higher frequency that are here for us, to assist us, to guide us as we are going through this process for humanity of ascension. And in particular, we are working today with a collective cosmic consciousness called Stephen, and we are inviting them in now. We are inviting only beings of a high frequency, and any beings that are not of this high elevated frequency will bounce off this group field and find a place elsewhere. And so we are all now connected, and we are feeling the vibration of love for everyone we come into contact with, for all of humanity. And it's a purity within this frequency of love that allows us to elevate our frequency so we can meet these collective cosmic consciousness beings, and we can experience that connection with them. And so it is from within this elevated frequency of love that we invite this connection, this engagement, this communication. And it's my dominant intention, Maya Francis, to be an accurate, pure, and precise translator of the vibrations as they come through, so that that which is shared with this audience is accurate and really truly reflects the intention as it's coming through. We do this from within this vibration of love. There may be a little bit of light language that comes through first for you, Mona, and the audience. Light language is a high frequency transmission. It will sound a little bit foreign to you. Just allow it to wash over you and don't try and decode it. Just let it settle into your body. That's just guidance for everyone. No, sorry, they're not going to do that. They're just going to come straight through. Greetings, 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 dear ones. Greetings to you all. And greetings to our dear friend Mona, who we senses us. We sense has a familiarity with us. We sense that she is aware of us and has engaged with us before. Greetings, dear friend Mona. Greetings to you. And so, dear one, where to begin with this amorphous mass, this collective cosmic consciousness? Of course, if you do not wish to guide the questions, we will just get carried away with our own responses. So feel free to interject at any time. Now, we will just allow Maya a moment to settle her physical self. Indeed, indeed. And so over to you, Mona, if you have a question or two, and if you do not, well, we can wax lyrical for infinity.
Well, this is the question, Stephen. What is happening? Why are you here today? Right? Why are you here in South Africa?
Well, indeed, dear Mona, an excellent question and very well put indeed, indeed, indeed. And so our answer for you is we are in fact not really here for South Africa. There's a curly one, isn't it? We are here for unity. We are here for humanity. And we know you are here for that too. We are here for oneness. We are here to remind everyone of the essence of Christ consciousness. And no, before Maya starts to freak out, we are going off on a religious tangent. As she knows, of course, we are jesting. We are here to remind everyone that your path through this is actually through seeing your unification. And we know that you do that. You unify, you have a focus and an intention to unify for all of South Africa, a focus and an intention to unify for all of Africa. And we are inviting you to have this focus and intention to unify for all of humanity. For when we see you, we do not see these segments. We do not see these fragments. We do not see these fractured notions. Now, we want to say up front, first and foremost, we endorse and celebrate and applaud you for Mona, for this series of interviews, for this focus on how to shift the vibrational set point within South Africa to a higher frequency. We applaud you for this. And so this is not a contradiction to what you are doing, and it is in no way, certainly in no way a criticism of what you are doing, no way at all. But our invitation to you and all of your viewers is to see yourselves as global citizens. And the reason that we say this is because in seeing yourself as one of everyone, as one of this energetic current, because of course you are, these human constructions, these human bodies, merely, we do not mean to be disrespectful, but they're housing your magnificence, your stupendous energetic forces, your own internal energetic beings. And these beings are magnificent and they are multidimensional. Ooh, she's wondering now whether we've gone too far for the audience, but they are multidimensional. You are multidimensional. You are working on different planes at the same time. Tricky, tricky. And so our invitation is to remember your grandeur. Remember how impressive and impactful you are, because you are impressive and impactful as this energetic being. And when you begin to reduce this, when you find yourself tempted to do a reductionist sort of equation, when you start to identify yourself as, oh, I am a woman against I am a man, I am a meat eater, I am a vegetarian, I am a vegan, you're fracturing your energy. And when you say I am a South African. We applaud, of course we do. We do not want this to be misunderstood. We absolutely applaud and uphold your desire to look at your own backyard and see from an energetic perspective what needs to be done to shift this. But you, as humans, have no sense that you're not no sense. You have a reduced understanding. You do not have the bird's eye perspective that we and others like us have, of course, naturally. And so it is our job to come through and remind you that in essence, you are of a stock pot full of energy. Every human being is from a stock pot full of energy. And when you come into human form, human being, it is natural because it is your path, it is your journey to make sense of vibrational themes and frequency understanding, so that as at a soul level you can more accurately, with greater intensity and depth, understand themes that you may have experienced through your life. But it is not necessary for you to get stuck in those themes, especially when those themes are of a negative or dense nature. You can experience that density, allow that to be uploaded to your soul, and then easily move through it. We digress a little bit. Maya is worried that we might be digressing too much. We are not, dear one. Settle. Allow us to take charge on this occasion. The point we are making here is that you are all energetic threads. And when you are able to lift yourselves a little, lift yourself to that higher perspective, which you can do as a human. You do not need to transition in order to do that. You can as a human. And for you, Mona, and for your audience, we know and trust that each one of them is cognizant of that which we are speaking of, that they have an awareness of the power that will come from allowing yourselves to drop the identities, to drop the constructions, and to focus on what you want to live in terms of a broader vibrational world, what the specific frequencies are that you want to draw in this magical world that you are conjuring up, that you are all conjuring up. And so we shall pause now, dear Mona, and allow you to have a word.
Steve, that's just magical because you're so right. Even though I may be focusing on South Africa in this event, well, there's always been a broader aspect to it because it's whatever we do here, we're sending it out a million times, a billion times, a gazillion times out into the world.
Mm,
So I am so in tune with what you've just said.
mm, mm.
And absolute joy to be able to hear that. It's like, it's as if that communication has been coming to me absolutely correct.
Of course, dear one, of course. As we said at the very beginning, we are not strangers. You
Yeah.
and we are not strangers.
Yeah. And I guess I'm finally having that conversation in a way, like face to face, because
Mm,
sometimes I wondered,
yeah.
where does this come from? Who is speaking to me? And now I'm putting, shall we say, um, some kind of, for my human brain,
Mm,
putting some
mm,
context to
mm,
this information.
mm. Indeed, indeed. And from a human perspective, it is always necessary to have context. You are humans for a reason, and you are humans at this time for a reason, and this is your incarnation for this experience, for this exposure, and it is important that those that are coming through at this time to assist you recognize that context for humans is everything. We cannot purely energetically make our make the impact, have the impact, take you by the hand and guide you to where you need to go to if we don't also cater for the construction that you are in. And this construction is the human construction. And there is no judgment there at all. There is no criticism of the human. We are enamored and adore the human. But the human does need to be aware of the overriding need for something logical, for something rational, for some understanding, for context and background, for something for your, we often say, for your human brain to hang on to, so that energetically you can line yourselves up. Now, the energetic work, it happens easily. You may think it happens with some difficulty. It happens easily because you are by nature these energetic forces. But if we do not deal with the blockages, the resistance, the limiting beliefs of the human, which is a magnificent being. But if we do not do that, then the human will block and prevent and disallow the energetic shifts from coming through. And so that is why it is very important to paint the picture as it is.
Thank you for that, Stephen. Stephen, there may be some people out there, and I guess this was why I was guided to host this event, because it feels to me, and please, I would love your view on that. It feels to me that we're moving into a space where people have to, and I'm talking about the collective humanity, having these types of conversations with beings from different dimensions. And especially, I know in South Africa, I know there's many people, we do this, but we kind of do it in secret instead of being on such public platforms like this. You know? And that, to me, it feels like this is the way forward. These are the type of conversations that we are not just here, again, in our human selves, in our 3D spaces. We've got cosmic help. We've got divine help. And that there's always a spirit, there's a solution, a spiritual solution, a divine solution to what's going on.
We would partly agree and partly disagree, dear one. Now let us deal with the disagree, because it will make sense when we articulate this. We would say to you that a huge part of our work, and a huge part of the work we are doing with Maya, is creating pathways so that people like you, dear Mona, and your listeners are able to connect in with their own massively elevated intelligence. We would say that whilst we are here, because this is the stage of evolution you are in as humanity, it's the stage of evolution that the earth is in, and you have not re-established your direct connection with yourselves, with your purity, with your energetic, your sophisticated and complex energetic makeup as yet. You have not really, only a mere percentage of you have re-established that connection. And so the energies that come through as entities or beings such as ourselves, we are a collective, of course, these teachers, guides, helpers, we are coming through in large part to, we will speak for ourselves, for our collective. We are coming through specifically to help you re-establish a connection with your own extraordinarily powerful selves, and that every solution can be found within your own incredibly extraordinarily powerful selves. Now, at a very simple level, at a very easy to understand level, this is intuition, as she alluded to before. This is intuition. This is you feeling into, oh, is that quite right? Is this what I should be doing? Is this where I should be putting my focus? Is there? And then an idea might drop. The ideas, of course, drop for you when you are in what we call alignment, when you're energetically feeling good, when you're, if we were to look at that swathe of emotions, when you're feeling in what we call elevated frequencies as opposed to the denser vibrations, it's very difficult, much more difficult to connect into your intuitive self when you are feeling heavy and low, because it makes sense, does it not? Your broader self, your what we like to call your unified self, is operating at a higher frequency. And if you are feeling low, when you are feeling sad or grief-stricken or overwhelmed or bullied or any of the difficult emotions, then you are, when you think about those emotions, they feel heavy, do they not? They feel there's a heaviness to them. So from a dimensional perspective, from a frequencies perspective, they are heavy, denser emotions and difficult for you to connect into your intuition, to your internal guidance, which is why we put so much emphasis on helping you to shift your vibration, shift your mood, shift your emotions to a higher perspective. But so at a very basic, not basic, that sounds like a disrespectful word, but at a simple level, at the first block being your connection with yourself. She is hesitating a little because she's not sure that you're ready for this, but we think, go ahead, dear one, go ahead. We're all ready for this, aren't we? We're all ready for this, Mona. So some of your viewers will know that they have expressions of self in other dimensions. Now, many of your viewers will have a sense of what is referred to as past lives or previous experiences or previous lives. These lives actually, in fact, it's a little tricky to understand, but the nature of time is really very much a human construction, and so these lives are in a sense being run concurrently. But some people will have an understanding of the nature of previous lives, and so they have brought their minds around to the fact that that you have had other experiences, that you might have had other experiences in other lives. You also all have other experiences in other dimensions. And so when we say we want to reconnect you with the power that is you, and when you say, Mona, well, I was wondering when, whether we should all be tuning into higher perspective beings such as yourself. The bizarre idea here is that, in fact, you are connecting into, in a sense, within our collective, there is an aspect of you, there is part of our collective that is an aspect of the future you. There is a part of our collective that is an aspect of a galactic representation of you. So that is yourself in a different dimension. And so the input, the intelligence that's coming through is actually your own intelligence. And so we understand that that's a big concept for the noodle. But the important thing here is to bring things back to, I have the power. I have the knowledge. When I have the alignment, I get the downloads. I get the drops. It's me. It's no one else doing. No one else is coming to save me. No one else is doing this for me. It is me. It is me in all my splendor that allows in all of these solutions to drop into place. So the solutions for the world, or the solutions for South Africa, or the solutions for your neighbor, or the solutions for your family. So we hope that has helped to put a little bit of perspective around this idea of the others. The others are in many ways broader, different expressions of self.
Wow. Stephen, this collective, you may be the first to share it like this, because I'm sure many of us on this platform would state that we've always, and that's how we've been evolving, right? That there's something outside of us. And yet some of us have felt like, but that magnificence is within, it's an aspect of us, but we were too afraid to actually claim it, because how dare we be so bold? Wow.
Indeed. This is so true and accurate, and such a brilliant insight and perspective, dear Mona. And there are multiple facets to this. And so one that we want to draw your attention, well, not yours so much, but your audience's attention to, is this notion of, how dare I assume I am so magnificent? Before you get to that on a stepping stone to really owning your own incredible, extraordinary power and your magnificence as beings. Even at a human level, we want to take you back, and we want you to think about in your human lives, because this is where that starts, that little, that quiver, that little question mark that hovers over you and often consumes you. In your human lives, where have you said, how dare I? Who am I to? Who do I think I am? And where has it been said to you? And when you say it to yourself in any context, who do I think I am to? Oh, I couldn't possibly. We want you to catch yourselves. We really want you to really be vigilant about those words and phrases in particular, because what are those words and phrases? They are for your human a restating and a reinforcing of your lack of worthiness. And you, dear ones, are not lacking in worthiness. You, dear ones, are magnificent beings of light. And so at the very first step for you, we would say, vigilance, 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 always about your own self-talk, about at a human level when you say, oh, I couldn't possibly expect to attract an enormous amount of money, or I couldn't possibly expect to attract the right partner or love or success or an easy flowing life. We want you to think about this and to rephrase these words for yourself, because within the words are vibrations. And if you strip out the densely laden vibrational words, you are left with neutral words. And when you put an emphasis on high frequency words, then you are left with high frequency sentences. Those high frequency sentences are what you play into yourself, are what you code into yourself, and then you will have that experience that you want. Now, we are talking about this at a human individual level, but think about this on a magnified level. So when we are dealing with the focus of these series of interviews around South Africa and shifting South Africa into a higher frequency and shifting the global humanity into a higher frequency bandwidth, then you can imagine if this happens on a roller coaster sort of, not roller coaster, correction, on a snowball effect, then you can imagine the impact that can be had. And once that level of unworthiness, that sense of unworthiness, that artificial construction, we will say this again, artificial construction of unworthiness, once that is stripped away, then you have possibility and this potential and this capacity to draw in, to dream in, to pull in exactly the future that you want, not just for yourselves, but for the broader collective, because you connect into your, essentially your natural high frequency, your natural state of being, which is one that will bring in all of those beautiful experiences and that state of being.
Wow. Stephen, wow, that's just been amazing. I can feel the viewers, I can feel the audience just sitting there receiving this wisdom in the most profound, healing way that it's being transmitted.
Well, one thing we will say before we close down, dear one, is that your viewers are here because they are ready to receive this transmission. They are ready to receive this activating frequency that will allow more of the essence of them to come through and to curtail or contain that which has been programmed, patterning, construction over generations, and so they are ready, and all they need to do is open themselves up, connect in more deeply, trust that they have this, because you do have this as a collective, as humanity. You have got this, and we are delighted to say you absolutely are over the tipping point. There is no going back. It is a matter of holding yourselves, of carrying yourselves, and of soothing others who might not be quite where you're at as you go through this slightly ripply stage, because we will not mislead you. Of course, there are, in the 3D physical reality world, there are experiences that you will go through and that will come to you and that you will see within your societies that are not what you want. That will still be there. But know yourselves that you have the power and the capacity and the capability to shift that, and that you have all of that to be able to soothe and assist others to come along with you. And that, one moment, there is incoming. And that if you connect into the supportive energies that are around, so not taking your focus outside of your body and what you, or outside of your energy system and what you are capable of doing, but opening yourself up to the beautiful photonic energy that is incoming at the moment, which will help you hold and stabilize that place of higher frequency, and constantly coming back to this deep knowing that you are magnificent beings of light, that you are absolutely within, the power is yours, that you do, in fact, this catch cry, you create your own reality, is so deeply, deeply true. If you are ready for it, and all of you are ready for it.
Thank you, Stephen.
And so, dear one, we will leave you now with the deepest of our appreciation to you and all of your viewers for being here, for incarnating on the earthly realm at this time, at this challenging time for many. And we will leave you with our deepest expression of love and admiration. This is Stephen. And this is Maya. How are you doing, Mona? Sometimes they can be a little bit full on.
My third eye has been buzzing non-stop since they started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
That was powerful.
Mm.
And I'm sure my husband's going to come after the session now, and he's going to say to me, but it sounds like all the things you've been saying. And it's exactly what they said. We've
Yep.
met on the same realms together. We have.
Exactly.
When they said your words create your reality, I'm like, that's exactly what I did. A post on that recently. I sent out emails on that. I did an article on that. I'm like, people, it's exactly that. But what I loved, and this was confirmation of what we tend to know, but we downplay it. Whole thing that there's nothing outside of us. We keep putting something else there instead of just tapping into an aspect of us.
Quite
That's
right.
in another dimension.
Exactly. That's it. And when you think about that, then you realize nothing's really happening to you.
Yeah.
You're experiencing everything that you want to experience, and you've also got the capacity to find paths out of that if you don't want to continue experiencing. It's all about your own and decisions, and owning that, being, well, I think interestingly, on the back of our mutual friend Anaya's retreat she's running at the moment, your own sovereignty.
Yes,
Exactly.
precisely. So it's all tying in, it's all fitting in, because the information's out there. It's now for people to, I'm trying to find the best way to put this. It's like to listen to that which is drawing you closer to you, the real you, and
That's
allowing that aspect to be expressed, right?
Exactly. 100% it. Yeah. Absolutely. Quite right.
Maya, that was incredible. Thank you. I mean, I've experienced the council with Christy Whitman, and now I got to experience Stephen. And this is just it. I loved what you said right at the beginning as well. We are all channeling all the time. And if you look at what Stephen explained, and it is different aspects of us that we're tapping into, then it makes perfect sense. And why should, yeah, and when I think about myself, it's like, why should I feel that what I'm doing is odd or strange when I'm just tapping into another aspect of me? It's still
Exactly.
me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Absolutely, 100%, Mona.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for hosting this. This is a really fabulous series, fabulous retreat, really wonderful. And I wish you all the best for your. It's the final one is tomorrow. Is that right? If I got that
Tomorrow,
right.
yes.
Tomorrow.
Panel tomorrow.
And that's Natalie De Mornay.
Natalie De Mornay Maharaj, yep.
Yeah, lovely. Well, I'll look forward to tuning in on that one as well. And thanks so much to all of your viewers. And I look forward to connecting again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Maya.
All right.
So to our viewers, thank you for being here, whether you are here with us live or you're going to be watching the replay. And yes, the frequencies were coming through, the transmissions were coming through as Stephen was speaking, as Maya was speaking, as we were all speaking, because this is just it. And that's the truth. Our words, I shared earlier today on another live stream, that we've got a blank canvas and we decide. We decide what we're going to experience, what we want to have. And today was confirmation from Stephen that we are the answers we've been waiting for. So I'm going to leave all of you with that. And we'll see you tomorrow for the final session of this series. It's not the final, it's just the final session for this week. So until tomorrow, 7 p.m. South African time, 5 p.m. UK. It's ciao for now.